on to face the number 1 seed, JJ Schmidt. So here we go. Descendant of Erdrick, listen to my words. I'm going to give you some things, and you're going to get me the ball of light.
Let's find out what things those are. BT's stream is slightly ahead here, and not anymore. Now they're in sync virtually. We've got gold.
Enough for a hand axe.
BT's skipping over that chest, leaving us in suspense.
It's an herb we saw from the other side.
We know it's an herb, but he'll find out later. We get no spells, low strength, low agility. So the hand axe money could come into play. I expect both players to save here, but you never know. Wow, it's swampy.
So, hello, I'm Sparkover, and I have this really weird liking for swamp seeds. I got very excited for a second there. So BT's did not save, but finds a town right away, and it's Remulder.
Not even looking for a hand axe, he's going straight for the keys. And you can't really blame him, you know, he's got to worry about whether Erdrick's sword is in the treasury. And whatever he gets out of this, he should be able to progress in one way or another. Meanwhile, Lavkian, opening with fighting a Drakey, he is capable of doing a little damage, but he's not going to be able to win this battle without an excellent move, so he runs.
Yeah, starting with only 5 strength, you're not going to be able to take out very much. You're pretty much hoping for slimes at the time. So Lavkian did save, so is able to reset here. Meanwhile, BT's goes over to the item shop. Still has enough for a hand axe. I like that. But the only weapon we have is the club and the baboon pole. So we buy the club. We'll probably be seeing a chainmail as well. Silver shield is there, but of course it'll be a little while before we are able to afford that.
I didn't see how many keys BT's got. It looks like he got 2 because he's opening up here, but really smart of him to save money. I guess he probably got 3, actually.
Yeah, if he got 700 something and still had 560, I want to say 3.
So yeah, that worked out really well. He has keys and the club. I wanted to mention that when you have strength 5, the club is an absolutely excellent weapon. It makes all the difference, and we've already seen their Drakeys in the opening zone. He can fight them now, so a really, really good start for BT's. I imagine Lavkian will find the town shortly.
Yeah, and if Lavkian does not get any experience, meanwhile, we can be pretty sure that you will be resetting, saving your money, and probably buying the little bit of things that BT did. Unfortunately, Lavkian was headed in the right direction, but is taken out by a Scorpion. Meanwhile, on the other side, BT gets an excellent move on a Drakey, and takes the lead with 3 experience.
Just makes it that much easier to fight another before a Death Warp, and with the Chainmail, it looks like he's not going to be taking more than 1 damage from a Drakey, so he's a lock for level 2, he's going to get that. And as I mentioned, Lavkian is on his way to the right. I believe he will make Remulder once he stops getting unlucky.
So BT with another excellent move gets to level 2. Unfortunately, on Lavkian's side, the luck against some Scorpions are not going very well right now.
BT's ready to Death Warp to get his HP and MP boosted. I didn't see if he has any spells. I kind of don't think he does, but he gets the HP back. Lavkian just taking a quick peek in the swamp. You can get across, and I think he meant to use an herb there just to check. That might be his next mission, but I really hope that he tries to go to the right soon. BT's gearing up to open up the treasury as well as this cave. Now, he went to get keys with only enough money for 1 key, but that's not a concern because Remulder is right there. So he's just trying to open up whatever he can right now. And this appears to be Swamp North.
So as far as the question in chat, as far as the color coding of the stats goes, if you're in the red, your stats are very, very not good. They get a little bit better when you see them in the white. I believe when you start sort of getting a little bit better, that they'll turn into an orangey color, I think. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
And then when you are in the area of wanting to fight the Dragon Lord, they will turn green. So BT is in the Sherlock 10 Angel Treasury. We've got a torch, the harp, another torch, and something that was not too notable, but I have forgotten it already.
Herbs are not too notable, but BTs can use an herb potentially. So now BT's making use of the desert zone. Lavkian again trying to head in the... Just a matter of the bad luck he's been having. Soon he will make it. and he won't be terribly far behind. BT's only with 6 experience at this point, although he's gained a wealth of knowledge. Lavkian is in a place to catch up very quickly.
Yeah, for those just tuning in right now, we started out with some gold, and Remolder is not too far away. BT had luck and was able to get there without any problem whatsoever. I heard that Lavkian now has seen it in sight, so we'll be headed there, and we'll maybe be able to start catching up a little bit. Though, on a note, BT has some knowledge. Oh, dear me, Lavkian and the Metal Scorpion. BT has knowledge, but the experience lead isn't that great so far. Though, on the other hand, I don't know if we've seen any slimes yet, and that is going to make the first level trickier no matter what.
Thankfully, there are Drakies, and again, with the club and chainmail, Drakies are even if you have to death work between them, you can get one basically for free. Lavkian finally makes it, and he'll get the good news. It's Remolder, and I like his decision to go straight for the hand axe, especially given the amount of money he has. But I believe he'll get the club and chainmail, and then he'll still have a little left over for some keys.
I really like this in-theory hand axe.
It's all about the in-theory hand axe. You get less than 560, you're probably resetting in the beginning, unless you're some weird other circumstance like having hurt more. Now, BT's has enough strength to do damage to Scorpions, so he's going to propel to level 4 here. Again, not a large experience lead. It won't be too hard for Lavkian to catch up. But big power boost there for BT's, and a spell, Hurt More!
Oh my. So let's get rolling now. So, Ness Cardinale, what do you do when you get hurt more?
Well, you branch out and try to find harder enemies that you can hurt more. Like this green dragon who unfortunately struck first. He won't get the chance to try.
Yeah, there is always a little bit of a moment. If you get hurt more very early on, when your HP is very low, you're still not always going to be able to take out the very top enemies, just because they'll be able to take you out in one hit where they might need 2 hurt mores.
So Lavkian found a ghost, which I don't think I saw BT fight one of. But as I say, again, it's the same thing with the club and chainmail. It's a lock, and Lavkian just needs one more enemy, making use of that desert to find a Drakey all the faster, and he is going to get level 2 immediately.
Yeah, so despite the fact that we do hurt more right now, you know, do not doubt the club at all. The club was definitely helpful from taking Drakeys, you know, to the point where you can actually kill them, along with the chainmail. So at 7 minutes and 50 seconds in, Lavkian gets to level 2.
It's a big deal. If there were no club, both players would still be at level 1, and it would be a very difficult climb to get out.
I mean, getting the Drakeys killed would still probably be not that bad with the chainmail, but yeah, it would be a struggle.
Oh, that's true. If they have you'd have to have no town entirely to make it difficult. They did start with an herb, though. That would give them at least one Drakey, and then from there it would be interesting.
Alright, so BT gets to level 5. Another 13 power. They're really handing it to you now. 15 hit points, 10 MP, and a whole whack of new spells.
So Radiant, Stop Spell, and Repel, all significant in their own ways right now. Stop Spell can be useful against a bunch of enemies that require 2 hurt mores. Repel for avoiding the enemies he no longer wants to see. And Radiant just for convenience, getting through caves faster.
So, yeah, just in the past few levels, there was a lot of strength given out to our runners. Well, to BT, I should say. Lavkian will get there soon.
Only one enemy away from level 3. And then Lavkian will be so close to level 4 as well, there's no question he'll get there in a hurry. But he's got some scouting to do first, and he knows he can get more keys from Remolder, so it's not that important to preserve his keys right now. I don't know if this is his last one or not. But there's the silver harp for both players. I kind of like this map design. I get the feeling from what I'm seeing on BT's side that this might be a very small island and the other side through the swamp cave might be bigger. But we'll have to see how far the west goes. We saw Lavkian explore through the swamp and just see a glimpse of that bridge. It wasn't a bridge, but a little opening that led to more land. We'll have to see how vast that is. Now Lavkian using a torch here to determine that this is Swamp North. And I guess, well, he's death warped out now. Not much to say there. But I don't think he'll be going through just yet. It is an option, but there's not much that he could need on the other side. I mean, the best thing he could hope for is to get through to Garinham or, you know, a field of towns and caves on the other side.
I mean, I love a field of caves.
You just can't expect it, or, you know, that it's more likely through the swamp cave as opposed to just exploring.
Yeah. So, one thing to note, though, there was no gold in the treasury here. The only chance we'll have at a gold grind, then, is if the swamp cave happens to connect to Garinham, and then there's gold there.
It's also worth noting, beeteas, judging from his experience, he has only killed 1 or 2 enemies with Hurtmore. So, you know, not too much of a speed advantage here. Again, Lavkian should be able to catch up pretty well. If he finds a Scorpion, he'll propel right to level 4 immediately, and then the game is on.
Yeah, level 3 came with a decent strength boost, so, that'll definitely help. Unfortunately, the Magidrake has the sleep spell, though we do have stop spell, so if he's able to cast that after waking up, then this could be a good enemy to get.
No other danger, as the Magidrake can do no more than 2 damage through the chainmail at this time. So there's the stop spell, and Lavkian is all set. This enemy will not give enough, but the next enemy will.
Yeah, because we have no slimes, as we have determined. Not 100%, but we're pretty sure on that. So it looks like BT is going to go on a little walk through his swamp cave and see what happens. And here is level 4 for Lavkian. We will have Hurtmore on both sides, so let's open this seed up and see what happens.
It's funny, because we know he's going to see the 12 power first, and then be like, yay, but then there's Hurtmore, and it's like, well, I don't care about the power anymore. Now, okay, I thought he was going to stay grinding there for a second, but he's moving. There's some Zone 2 over here. We know there are Warlocks. Apparently Drakeys, too. BTs, meanwhile, in the back of Garinham.
So in there we have a key. We do have gold, as talking about before, and we have even more gold. So if you're crafty, you can make a gold grind out of this. And hey, what did we say about a whole whack of caves?
It happened. A town and a cave.
Town and 2 caves.
Well, I think he went through the swamp cave, didn't he?
Oh, did he not backdoor through that? Oh, my mistake.
I didn't see it for sure. I was just assuming that he was coming from the back and he hadn't opened the chests yet. It only makes sense. And then he exited through the top, so he didn't have to use a key.
Yeah, so a gold grind is possible.
That too.
So let's see, we've got in here a broadsword, magic armor, and a small shield. BT chooses to pick up the silver shield. Small, the small shield, it's a little smaller. And is using the money to go back inside. Is probably going to pick up a broadsword here because we do have 2 gold chests here.
I'm a little curious about this. A broadsword less necessary at the moment because he has Hurtmore, but at the same time, it is nice to get the 3rd most powerful sword in the game out of the way, just in case there's some stuff you have to fight later that you can't Hurtmore. It makes sense to have a decent sword early, and this only required 1 trip in there, so it does make sense, and I like the decision.
Yeah, with the 2 chests, they made it a pretty quick decision to go with. So meanwhile, on the other side, Lavkian has gotten to level 5.
And a very nice grind zone up here. Unfortunately, the green dragon striking first.
That seems to be a thing.
Indeed. But as you see, both players, the distance in experience is only 55, which is like less than a Druid Lord, so... Again, the game is on.
So let's see what these 2 caves are. We have the Shrine Cave, where BT will exchange the Silver Harp right away for the Staff of Rain, one of the key items you need to make the Rainbow Drop to get into the final castle. And we had a Dark Cave that could be either Tablet Cave, Grave, or Mountain Cave.
He went in, and I wasn't even sure. I didn't see if he determined what it was, or if he just wanted to check the other one first.
I think he was just looking for a brighter cave, and this looks like Mountain Cave, so we will have some chests.
No reason not to check it out right now. He's fairly close to home, and there's no money grinding possibility to consider. And there could be good enemies in here. Unfortunately, a stone man put him to sleep, and that's all she wrote. Lavkian continuing to grind in that close desert with lots of weaker enemies that are easy to pick off with Hurtmore. The gap is closing already in experience.
So, as asked in chat by Lorgon, that there still could be land west of Tantagel we have not yet seen, I believe that is the case.
Yes. BT's... I think he's going back through the Swamp Cave immediately. In the meantime, just filling up keys. Lavkian reaching level 6 first. Nice power and response speed gains, and he has heal more as well. Lots of possibilities emerging from level 6.
And as a note, this is the first time Lavkian will have the experience lead.
Yes, indeed. After 5.5 minutes trying to get to Remolder to open things up, this is where we're at now. Lavkian with a slight experience lead and continuing to grind. BT's in more difficult waters in terms of enemies, but with a vast exploration lead. So, again, I love seeing divergence, and I love seeing how they end up converging later. We'll see what happens. There's level 6 for BT's.
And Lavkian just seems to be grinding away for the next level right now. And, you know, you can't fault him. It's early grinding. Early grinding can have a little bit of an advantage depending on how the seed goes, but at the same time, in a Hermore seed, you sort of want to be careful and make sure that, you know...
BT's getting away from a stone man before it could cast sleep. And there are wyverns in the mountain cave too, so that'll be really beneficial for BT's. They are now 1 experience apart before Lavkian defeats that warlock. And there are also armored knights. Now, the first floor of the mountain cave is very short. I wouldn't be surprised if BT's came back there after killing a couple enemies and getting to level 7. But he could also explore. Either way, there's so many possibilities right now, and there's no absolutely right decision at this juncture. We'll just see what happens. It looks like BT's is going to check out the west.
Traversing the swamp of dreams is perhaps the case.
I'm a little surprised that Lavkian has stayed in this weaker zone for so long, but at the same time, he's really close to the next level. This is actually going to put him 1 experience away. BT's finds Breckenary in the west.
So funny enough, that town was there all along, but because of the other side of the swamp, we never found it. Breckenary has the large shield.
And a copper sword as well, but again, it's not like our players really missed out on having a copper sword.
Meanwhile, Lavkian scoots up to level 7.
And I imagine he's going to start exploring now. He's already getting to the point where he can one-shot these enemies physically, and he has hurt more as well. So many possibilities.
And yeah, if I'm seeing this right, I think that might be it for the first island. Unless there was a little nook or cranny somewhere to sneak into that I missed.
If that's the case, it's all about the Swamp Cave. And I do think you're right. I think that's all I saw as well.
And yeah, Eternal Newbie asks in chat, does BT not realize he can do a gold grind? Possibly not. Like, this is sort of one of the alternate style of gold grind. It can be a little easier to miss. I mean, I can definitely remember back to a time, let's say, last Saturday, when I missed the chance of a gold grind that might have been a little bit dangerous for me. But enough about not knowing gold grinds. BT has also gotten to level 7.
Yeah, it's not every day the Swamp Cave leads from Tantagel to Gorinham, so sometimes players won't immediately think of the possibility, especially when there's no gold in Tantagel. So we'll just have to see. I don't think Lavkian's aware of the possibility just yet, now going through the Swamp Cave, but we'll see if both players think of the possibility. BT's discovering now that he's done with the opening island, and both players will be progressing to the secondary continent shortly. With exactly equal experience, by the way, 363 apiece.
So Lavkian will pull ahead with that wyvern, and BT will be sent back home. Looks like Lavkian is going to be taking a look at what the enemy is guarding the princess.
Even without being able to beat it with low HP, unless he gets the first action on an Axe Knight, which is kind of unlikely, it's really good knowledge to have, just knowing what that swamp tile is for later, making a choice in grinds when you find out what's in Oxnard.
Yeah, and especially knowing that, you know, you're probably going to be traveling through this cave a few times. And look at that, dual Demon Knights in the dark. So Lavkian pulled away by about 200 experience points and now takes a death.
So there's not going to be much difference at all. BT's already taking a Magiwyvern and a Wyvern to pull back within 100. You're going to see a lot of experience fluctuation with these crazy Hurtmore seeds. I'm not ready to say it's a jet seed yet, but it's really nice to see both players be able to fly through the early game once they got to level 4.
Yeah, it was just enough of a little grind up to 4.
Lavkian casting Radiant again, indicating that he's committed to that decision, and he got the first action against an Armored Knight. It looks like he's going to take this one.
And...
42!
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
And there was another experience sync again. They do keep jumping just back and forth here, exchanging deaths, and the other one will get a few enemies on the way down as that happens. BT goes through the back door again, getting some gold chests.
So yeah, it's not the most obvious thing to think of, that, oh, we can do a gold grind through here. We'll just have to see if either player realizes it. Lavkian getting really bad luck with the enemies in the Swamp Cave. Just wants to walk a short distance to achieve something here, and the enemies just are not cooperating. It's kind of like the opening all over again. BT getting the better random luck with random encounters.
Yeah, Demon Knights are really tricky. They are very agile, so if you even want to run from them, it's difficult. And they hit very hard early on.
There are also Demon Knights on the top floor of the Mountain Cave, as BT discovers, and the same issue. I guess these are probably the same encounter zones. It looks like BT has a good shot at an Armored Knight. As long as Hurtmore lands. And there it is. A huge experience boost, though still not enough for level 9. But he's getting there, and in the meantime, he approaches the first chest of the Mountain Cave.
We've got some wings.
Going downstairs now, BT of course hoping for a combination of better enemies, starting with a wolf, which is decent, and helpful treasure chests.
Yeah, wolf is a pretty decent chunk of experience in the early to mid-ish game. Hey, we found a slime! So Lavkian catches up to level 8, still a little bit of experience behind. And did I just see an Axe Knight on our grind spot?
Stones of Sunlight for BT, and it looks like Lavkian's mission to discover this tile has paid off already. Nailing an Axe Knight, and using Heal more. I think he's going to drain... Yeah, absolutely. Drain his Hurtmores and take as many of these kills as he can. If he is successful, he will propel himself to level 9 immediately.
Yeah, the Axe Knight has a really decent chance to die on 1 Hurtmore. So you can't question this decision at all. This is just getting some nice fast experience to help you out with the exploration. So for the final chest of the Mountain Cave, it's the herb.
So yeah, BT's got the Stones of Sunlight in there. Definitely worth the time. And Lavkian got a level from the Axe Knights.
Once again, taking the experience lead. And we're definitely going to see a fair amount of that. One player is going to focus on grinding while the other one is out doing some errands.
Lavkian making absolutely the most of that exploration. Even if it weren't an Axe Knight, you know, just having that knowledge. But the fact that it was an Axe Knight is an early bonus. The fact that he was able to sap some extra experience out of being there. And once you're there, it would have been wrong to leave with extra magics. It did totally the right thing.
So despite the fact that we're going to have to be taking a walk through the Swamp Cave to get over to Sherlock, it's not that far from the exit, actually.
It'll be interesting to see, by the way, if we need Princess Gwaelin for the coordinates. It seems fairly likely at this moment.
Yeah, seeing as the first starting continent is so tiny, there's a very good chance. How deep do you think the Swamp Cave is? I mean, it's...
Deep in the ground?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just think, this swamp goes underneath, like, all these ocean and lakes. That's gotta be a pretty deep and solid cave to, you know, not cause leaking or anything. Doesn't Tantagel ever worry?
I think about stuff like that whenever I go through, like, the BART train in California, which goes under a large body of water.
Maybe they helped beat the Swamp Cave.
So here we see, again, more divergence. lavkian catching up in exploration. BT grinding and catching up in experience. And landing a Hurtmore on the blue dragon, which unfortunately has sleep. But he's awake! He risks the Hurtmore and he nails it! I feel more there. But yeah, that paid off. Hurtmore 9 out of 16 to connect against a blue dragon, and it worked.
So lavkian does a wee bit of shopping, buys a small shield. I don't believe I saw anything else there, though, but I only missed the end of that.
BT getting a lot of good experience out of this grind, also found a Droll Magi in that zone, and continuing to explore, which is... It's just a really good feeling to get exploration done while simultaneously accomplishing grinding when you have Hurtmore. So he's getting a lot of mileage out of this trip.
And yeah, as noting in chat, I don't believe lavkian has actually made it through the swamp cave yet. Looks like that might be a thing to do soon. Oh look, it's a Droll Magi with the Dragon Lord breath. Kind of impolite.
I'll always remember when I had 3 seeds in a row where Droll Magis had Dragon Lord breath. BT going west again on the home continent. It could be that he's just buying a large shield, that's my guess.
Yeah, if he's got 800, I would say that's the dream right now. Definitely looks like it. And BT buys the large shield. Slightly more well-equipped.
And again, everyone in chat knows that he could grind for a silver shield, but again, it's just one of those things. It's a different kind of grind. It's not going to occur to every player, and it's not going to occur to every player immediately, even if they do think of it later.
Yeah, even the more well-seasoned players might still make that mistake. I definitely know that I've missed out on that before, just because, you know, it's a little different from standard. So lavkian got the gold chests and is now checking out the Gardenham armor shop, but has not enough money for everything, and we'll check out these caves.
Hits the Shrine Cave first, which is the most convenient way to proceed. Now has the Staff of Rain.
Always nice to be able to get the Staff of Rain before you need to get any of the other Finding the Jerk. Of course, we still are missing the token, and lavkian doesn't have the Stones of Sunlight yet, but if is able to get through the mountain cave successfully, will have them soon.
And I think lavkian's due for a little bit of extra cave luck, starting with first action against an Armored Knight. And there it is. So that'll bring experience right back to near equal, within 15, just before BT defeats the Star Wyvern. And again, we're pretty familiar with this zone. Both players have seen it in multiple places. Demon Knight's here as well. And lavkian, this is a surprise. I was not expecting him to actually fight the Demon Knight, but because it's using the hurt spell so frequently, this is going to pay off. Unless it has heal. Now lavkian's still trying to attack. He could defeat it here, like 16 after a heal, that's enough. And only 12, but it was enough, wow.
Yeah, sometimes it's just very tempting to keep attacking enemies if you know they just have the smaller heal spell, just because you can often just barge your way through it, though very smartly here lavkian will be trying Stop Spell, but the Stop Spell resistance won't always get along with you.
Stop Spell has a low rate of effectiveness against an enemy like this in vanilla. I don't know exactly how that affects the range of Stop Spell in Dragon Warrior Randomizer. I've heard a couple things about how it can vary. But he only tried it once, and it looks like he's given up on the idea. And he did beat another one through attacks. Very nice.
So just before 29 minutes in, rather, BT got to level 10 and has now found Cole, one of the search spots where we find Erdrick's token. You see Erdrick's and you think, wow, this is great. Oh, it's the token.
And yet you need it. You can't take it for granted. It's just the armor is a big boost. But I don't think our runners have too much to be concerned about in the way of defense when, like, they have so much HP now, as well as hurt more. 19 agility boost at level 10 and 11 HP, so it's just gravy all around. Now Lavkian trying to conserve Hurtmores using herbs, now heading down to the second floor of the mountain cave. BT also attacking Demon Knights. And both players are just so close together, both in experience and in terms of what they're doing. I would say BT is still a little bit ahead on exploration, but that can all come down to which directions people explore in. BT covering a lot of ground here, not encountering many enemies. And when he does, of course, they're ripe for the taking. He can defeat anything other than a red dragon right now. A red dragon he could beat, but it would cost him a lot of heal mores.
So we found a little bit of a dead end here, but BT can go north from here. Meanwhile, Lavkian finishes up in the end of the mountain cave. And we'll be heading out to explore some more. And very true, the token. The jerk will not kick you out if you happen to have it, so we can console ourselves a little bit that way. And yeah, as much as you might be unhappy to not find the armor in a spot, again, you do need the token for the end of the game. It is necessary.
I'm really surprised to see Lavkian attacking... Oh, he's trying to Death Warp, that's why I missed that. Weak Fire Breath on the Magic Wyvern, so it took a little while extra, but there he goes. Now, will he realize that he can go through Rinham Gold? Let's find out.
Yeah, that could be an idea on his mind right now, because I don't see any other reason to be Death Warping from that point.
Exactly, it seems likely, given that he knows there's no gold in here. Now,
Yeah.
He is opening up these chests as well.
Yeah, I believe we are about to see a gold grind after a little bit of walking.
And this could turn the tides, you know, having the silver shield and better armor, it could make a huge difference for Lavkian. And it might just compensate for the lack of exploration. Lack is a wrong word, just the difference between the two players, of course. BT finding an Armored Knight, which are becoming pretty comfortable with their range of HP. They can beat them even if they miss one of the Hurtmores now. And BT one enemy away from the next level. He will fight this Demon Knight to get it. He takes a brave swing, and it lands.
And that looks like, yes, BT has reached the next level, 11.
Again, really good stat gains, a 6 and 3 7s.
3 7s, that's pretty lucky, huh?
And here's Lavkian's gold grind. He's all set, purposely taking the magic key first, but either one of these gold chests he can grind on.
And now it's time to make some money.
So we know that Lavkian will get enough for a silver shield. I wasn't looking too closely at what armor is available, but if he's seen magic armor, I'm sure he'll get it. If not, I'm sure there's full plate or something of the like somewhere.
I'm pretty sure we've seen magic armor somewhere, I just don't quite remember where. It might have even been this town. And indeed, in chat, a couple people are confirming that the magic armor is here, so there's your answer. Thank you very much.
And I've said a few words about how when you have Hurtmore, a weapon is less important, but the fact that they haven't found Erdrick's sword yet and they've been through the mountain cave, I still think Lavkian will grind for flame sword money and try to find that somewhere if he hasn't already. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if he already has. That's the one thing I didn't take too close notice of, what is in shops other than the silver shield and that large shield of Brecconary.
Yeah, silver shield is always notable, but sometimes you definitely want to keep track of where the large shield is, just in case getting a silver one is not realistic at the time. So BT is just refilling up on coal, has about a 1,000 experience lead right now.
And again, we know why that is. It's a Hurtmore seed and Lavkian is spending time gold grinding. And we have to assume that the gold grind is the right thing to do, you know, to get that silver shield, and possibly a few other things. He's getting a broadsword for now, which again makes perfect sense. And it looks like he probably doesn't know where a flame sword is, because he grinded just enough for a broadsword specifically. And there was no silver shield here, so Lavkian's going to return, and I guess walk to Remolder. We know there's one there. BT continuing to grind and extend that experience lead. So Silver Shield for Lavkian.
Thank you, trusty small shield. You did well.
And that is definitely a big defensive boost. It can make all the difference in Sharlock, particularly against the Dragon Lord, and particularly against Agility Seeds.
So Lavkian, who hadn't actually checked out what was in the chest in Remolder yet, picks up the death necklace that the old man is hiding in his room.
Good job remembering that that chest was still unchecked. It is possible, that very possible in this seed, that the death necklace will be needed to beat the Dragon Lord at the minimum level. But we'll find out later.
So BT is still cruising along with the exploration. It's relatively safe to look around when you've got both Healmore and Hermore. Most things aren't going to bug you.
Yeah, as I've said, only red dragons at this point are a bother, potentially, unless something has Sleep and Dragon Lord Breath. And even now, it's possible that BT could beat red dragons. Maybe even comfortably. It just depends on their abilities at this point.
Yeah, at this point it doesn't matter so much what the enemy is, more so what surprises they might have for you.
So essentially both players are going to be in full-blown exploration mode. We're going to see the rest of the second continent relatively quickly, and we'll see how these two runners converge their paths and how close they'll be in the endgame.
So let's just take a peek here. Lavkian has about 1,700 experience, and BT has just passed the 3,000 mark. And looks like BT has found the grave. Got 5 more chests here, if we can make it all the way to the bottom. In the first top 3, we have some gold, we have some more gold, and we have the fighter's ring.
Another 2 attack power for BT, and he will now continue down to the bottom of the grave. And what is he still looking for? Well, although he has all the key items, Erdrick's sword is still out there somewhere, and it's very important to know where that sword is. If he were to ignore these chests and the sword were down there, it could be catastrophic in the endgame. And he can fight whatever he finds, so he's just hoping for good enemies along the way. Now, I'm not exactly sure what he's doing with this walk here. It looks like he's exiting, and I'm not exactly sure why.
It's a long walk down to the grave. It's possible he just wants to explore, otherwise maybe do something like find the armor before go to the bottom, maybe find out whatever this town is right here, who knows?
Maybe healing first. I didn't see how much MP he had, but it's Cantlin. Definitely a good find. He can get coordinates first, and he's heading straight down there.
And yeah, so as noted in chat by Jake Hoper, Lavkian has the equipment advantage and BT has the experience advantage. We will see how this plays out. We definitely know that not only does Lavkian shield, but also has the agility in the name if health is not too much of an issue come the later game. That could be a game changer.
So we have coordinates. They're definitely on the second continent. So I believe BT will save the princess. Given that he hasn't found the armor yet, the token was in Cole. Although I don't think either player has seen Hawksness yet. They might not actually need it. So my guess is BT will explore around for now and hope to find Hawksness before the next extinguishing of all his MP.
Yeah, there's no guarantee that the coordinates will be leading to the armor, but they do lead to something, and that's important information to have, at least a little bit.
Lavkian still knows those Axe Knights are in the Swamp Cave, but again, no reason to stop exploring right now with enemies ripe for the taking everywhere. I don't think we've seen any red dragons yet. So really, no players are being hindered by exploring something they're going to have to do anyway. They might as well do it early in case they get strong enough to beat the Dragon Lord by the end of the exploration, which is possible.
So BT was checking out the shops. I know we found a flame sword in at least one of those in Camplin.
Another cave for BT, and there's not much left. What does this have to be? I think the Jerk Cave is actually... Oh, and the Stones of Sunlight Cave.
The Tablet Cave?
Oh, I thought he had seen it already. So just those 3 are left now.
Either way, we've got either a rainbow drop in making or a free chest. So as soon as this poltergeist will let him go, maybe we'll be able to see what is in this cave. And it's the Jerk Cave! Would you like to make a rainbow drop?
I know BT would. So now there are 4 treasure chests left for BT. Will he check for the sword? I know I would be nervous leaving behind something like the Tablet Cave, even if the map was really big. And finally, BT finds the first red dragon, and it dodges the first attack. But as you can see, BT is plenty strong, and has plenty of heal mores, so this is a perfectly reasonable battle. And it's actually something he wants to see right now. A lot of experience will be gained from it.
So meanwhile, Lavkian was sent home by the blue dragon. And looks like is opting to go for a walk outside. And back in the castle.
I think he just remembered the swamp cave inside, and he has to go through there.
We're gonna have to walk through this cave a lot, aren't we?
I think BT accidentally cast heal there. I'm surprised this battle took so long, but BT has vanquished the first red dragon of the seed.
So let's just take a look at our stats right now. They're actually pretty decent for level 12. I mean, nothing completely groundbreaking yet, but we're definitely getting up there.
Can't beat the Dragon Lord, but it's looking more and more likely that we'll see a finish within the first 16 levels here. HP is already there. Agility is in the range where you can expect it to be in range of what you really want to be comfortable by the time you get the strength you want. And there's the sword in the Stones of Sunlight Cave.
Would you like a free sword? Because it's just hanging out behind this nice old man. So just like that, BT's choice not to go down to the bottom of the grave has paid off. Lavkian actually just did find the grave, and we see what Lavkian's decision is to go through there. Meanwhile, BT finds Hawksness. What enemy waits for us here? Whatever it is, we know it shouldn't be too difficult to defeat. And it's an armored knight, couple Herbmores, and we should be able to find out if there's anything hiding here.
You saw there, BT used an herb to ensure that he would still have 3 heal mores, just in case this was a red dragon. So yeah, it's time to see the coin flip. Is the armor here, or is it on the map?
Nothing
There's
at all.
Nothing here, so the armor's on the map, he already has the coordinates, and he'll save the princess on the next Death Warp.
Yeah, my assumption probably would be that he might just level here, he runs out, and then take the Death Warp so he can get the princess and get the armor right away.
Definitely.
And I don't believe BT has checked out the grind enemy yet at the bottom of Tantagel, in the Swamp Cave, the bottom of Tantagel, but he will be finding out very shortly. We assume.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's going to find out automatically. So Lavkian certainly wasn't penalized for checking early. He got a lot out of that, getting some early Axe Knights. It even gave him the experience lead. That was really good timing for him. But yeah, BT will now find the Axe Knights, and he might actually fight a few before he returns the princess.
Yeah, I believe they also have both the spell of Outside and Return, so, I mean, even if you are... Actually, I guess if we're at the top here, even just Outside would do that, so if you just even save 6 MP for that, you're, like, super solidly safe.
Super solidly safe.
The triple S. And so, hello there, it's the Axe Knight. Would you like to see a Herbmore? I think you're going to see a Herbmore now. And yeah, on the other side in the grave, lavkian dragon, but is able to get safely. We see a chest here, and it is a fairy water. So the only item of slight note that we would be able to find in a chest down here would be the fairy flute, and that you can only use against the golems.
So in terms of experience divergence here, Lavkian isn't really doing anything wrong. You know, he doesn't have the sword yet. It's worth it to check the basement of the grave. I think it's just worthwhile to note that BT just got extremely lucky, the fact that he didn't check those bottom two chests, and then he found the sword in the Stones of Sunlight cave. It now suddenly constitutes a huge advantage for him. He doesn't have to go back in the grave, and he's already in grind and go mode. So he can choose between Armored Knights and Axe Knights, and my guess is because of proximity, he will take the Axe Knights.
Yeah, though looks like for now he is opting to rescue the princess right away, just to get the armor. And level 13.
And again, I'm curious, it does look like he's not casting aside. It looks like, yeah, he's gonna grind the existing Axe Knights, because he knows he's not strong enough to beat the Dragon Lord just yet. He's gonna have to grind a little. He's getting very close, though. So yeah, my assumption is that he's going to run out these Hurtmores and then go get the armor.
Usually I like trying to play the guessing game of approximately where the coordinates could be, but I feel like it's not very easy to guess when our first continent is so small. Pardon me, at the very bottom of the grave, we find more gold for Lavkian. So he exits, he casts outside, and continues on the way.
Well, the starting continent was at the bottom of the map, and we have to go fairly far north to get the armor, so I don't think there are going to be any visual cues that anyone would consider using. I think it's just going to be a straight save the princess and pick up the armor.
But it's always fun to try. So after vanquishing a few of the Axe Knights, BT will take Gwaelin home.
And honestly, I really like the timing here. You can't Death Warp. It would be nice if he could, but unfortunately you can't. So he's going to have to go back to the start of Tantagel or through to another town to get his magic back. Unless he finds a quick Death Warp somewhere, but... Gonna go save the princess, pick up the armor, and I really like the timing, because again, it's possible that he's just one level away, you know, strength is really close to being enough. So he might get that next level on the way to the armor.
I like the idea of a quick little alley-oop here to fix your MP up if you want to, but he chooses to go straight to the king.
Lavkian now getting the coordinates for the armor, and I don't think he knows yet that it has to be the armor, but given the location, eventually he'll save the princess and get that armor.
Yeah, I don't believe we've seen the fairy flute yet. I believe the only two spots it can be now would be the Tablet Cave or Charlotte.
Lavkian opting to keep position, carefully timing those heal mores. And there's BT getting his MP back in Tantagel. And my guess is he'll go straight through the Swamp Cave, pick up the armor, and grind for the Dragon Lord.
And yeah, there's still a few more things for Lavkian to find, and given that he has the magic armor, getting the Erdrick's armor is not quite as big a priority if you're far away from home and want to keep your location intact. Don't get me wrong, Erdrick's armor is great, but the magic armor can help console you a little bit.
So it is worth mentioning that BT does not have that silver shield, and agility is still below 80, and it could stay that way.
Though the HP is also building up quite nicely as well. I'm not even necessarily speaking in terms of Death Necklace usage, but just that it'll give you a little bit extra cushion versus the lack of defense that you might, be lacking. And yeah, BT now crossing the 5,000 experience mark. Lavkian with 2166.
It's definitely quite a difference. I feel like it almost feels wrong that Lavkian appears to be punished for doing the gold grind, which would normally, almost always be the right idea. I think it's just a matter of seed luck here. But again, we'll see how the agility pans out. We'll see what BT gets from level 14 as he approaches very close to level 14. Here's level 11 for Lavkian.
3 7s.
Lots of really solid gains across the board. And Lavkian has the opportunity to check Hawksness now. And with an Armored Knight, this could be a good grind position. I don't know exactly where Hawksness is on the map relative to things that he hasn't explored yet. But he'll get the bad news about there being nothing here. And then he has the choice to drain a little more magic, taking a few more Armored Knights.
Lavkian gets the bad news that nothing is hiding there, and we'll have to keep looking. Though I suppose that does confirm then for Lavkian that the coordinates are the armor that he seeks. And here we have Lavkian in the Stones of Sunlight Cave. Picks up Erdrick's sword.
So now Lavkian has everything, and other than the armor, and Lavkian can suddenly be in go mode too. I don't know exactly where he is on the map, but I'm just, it looks like he's still exploring. Maybe he hasn't found the Jerk Cave yet.
I believe that was relatively close to where we are here, but I've been trying to follow along with the mapping, but it gets to be a little bit difficult when I'm not actually functionally doing it myself.
It's hard to follow two people at once and map. That's really difficult.
Yeah, as far as Lavkian making the choice to do the gold grind in this, I mean, it's sort of hard to pinpoint exactly, if it's a good choice at the time or not, just given that the Silver Shield is often very appealing, but at the end of the day, that's one of the longest setups for a gold grind, where you have to take the death and then walk through the swamp cave to another town. But I mean, honestly, personally for me, I would take the Silver Shield any chance that I could get it. It's hard to say it's the wrong choice, but it is odd to see it being punished. Meanwhile, looks like BT is getting closer to the coordinate spot.
And wow, level 14 brought a huge quantity of agility for BT, so absolutely no concern about not having a Silver Shield. Great agility for running from virtually anything in Sharlock, and now getting very close to Erdrick's armor. All the BT is missing is either strength or MP. They're a little low relative to each other. Technically, he's strong enough to go with more MP, and he has enough MP to go for stronger. It's just a matter of a little bit more in the way of stats.
Just depends which one will give you more of them first. And we are actually sort of encroaching upon actual Death Necklace time, but given how close we are on both counts, it could be any stat that gives us the winner.
Looks like more grind time for Lavkian on those Axe Knights, taking an Armored Knight in the meantime. BT finding a red dragon on the... this is only the second or third one I've seen, and he attacks at 30, but he was within range, and he got it.
I think at this point Lavkian may also consider saving the princess.
Just maybe.
Just maybe. And of course he does know that the Axe Knight is here, but at the same time, at this point, you're close to indestructible. Not entirely, but close. Oh look, a Droll Magic is Heal More. That will complement his Dragon Lord breath. That's not terrible at all.
So BT has the armor and is in full grind and go mode. Lavkian rescuing the princess on his way to Erdrick's armor.
So if I were to take a little stab in the dark here, I would say that we are going to be stabbing the Knight in the dark. Or her, Mooring. Close to a stab, though. Unless we're headed straight for Sharlock. Never mind what I said. We're gonna make a rainbow.
This is a surprising decision. just because the Swamp Cave is so good with those Axe Knights, and the alternative is Armored Knights as this too. BT already has the sword and the Fighter's Ring, so I'm not sure exactly why he's coming in here immediately. One could make an argument for getting some information, but when you have 92 agility, you don't want to sacrifice the speed of your grind for a little bit of top floor information. But BT is choosing to grind up here, not finding many enemies, and this is one of the problems. It takes a little longer to get your enemies. But we'll see what there is. Stone Men we're not crazy about, but he can find a Star Wyvern, which is not bad.
So let's see, how close are we? I believe the next level is at 7,500, if I saw that right?
Yes.
Yes. And looks like we are going down. I'm trying to see what is on the next floor. Yes, up to NG notes in chat. There is always the option of banking on the next level being enough and grinding your way down. The only problem with that is if you end up getting MP, you cannot replenish that on your own. You have to exit and go to a town, though we do have Garenham quite close to here.
Typically a much stronger strategy when you have 13 or more heal mores, but not quite enough strength.
Though I think I saw him using some MP there, so I think we're not trying to grind our way down, maybe just getting some information and opening up a staircase.
Yeah, BT not close to... Oh wow, there are red dragons, so BT does get a nice little bit of information out of this, at least. But it'll be interesting to see what his decision is. He could go down the stairs and cast outside, but instead it looks like he's gonna walk out of here. I'm just not entirely sure why he's not grinding in the Swamp Cave or Hawksness yet. Lavkian on the way to the armor, getting that... because we don't know exactly where he came out until he sees the coordinates.
Yeah, we're taking the Ziggy-Zaggy up to the northeast, I believe it is.
And this is the last thing that either player needs. Both players also have Death Necklace. And the Fighter's Ring as well.
So Lavkian slowly snaking his way up to the coordinates. And BT is just grinding some more in Sherlock. We are probably around... I'm not sure where his experience is. I'm willing to guess we're about 1,000 away from the next level on BT's side. And yeah, there we have it. 900 experience away from the next level for BT's, and we will see what it will bring us.
It looks like Lavkian is going the wrong way. I think once, like, the next time he uses the Gwaelin's Love, he'll realize he has to go east.
So it looks like, I have to assume at this point that probably BT is returning to the Swamp Cave. He wasn't out of MP at that point, so...
Yeah, not seeing too much of promise from Sherlock. So it's time to take those Axe Knights.
And that's going to be a very fast grind. When you are guaranteed an enemy that either be able to take out with you quite quickly, or even hurt more quite quickly, it will be a fast grind. So Lavkian is getting very close. I remember BT being around here, actually. I believe you just have to go up a little bit more around that greenish field area. Or in the swamp. Somewhere in here should be the armor, in this general vicinity.
And it looks like the terrain is really windy, preventing Lavkian from getting to the armor. But it should be somewhere up here.
I really thought it was on the other side that he had just come from, though.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly where BT picked it up.
But here we're finding out we're looking for 79 and 8, and we have 57 and 1. So yeah, we have to go a lot further north for this.
Yeah, it looks like you're right. Looks like it was back where Lavkian was before.
So hopefully for his sake that he did write down the coordinates properly. Meanwhile, BT is cozying up with some Axe Knights. It's just a couple until he reaches the next level 15 at 7,500. I think 2 or 3 more to go.
So overall, with virtually no red dragons on the over, this has been somewhat of a jet seed, and we're at the 1 hour mark. We already see both players essentially in grind and go mode. Once Lavkian picks up the armor, I assume Lavkian will progress right back to the Swamp Cave as well. We'll see a few Axe Knights go down, and then the conclusion of the race.
Stone Man, unfortunately, giving BT a little bit of the business. Sleep and hurt more combination. They would be pretty nice to fight if you could land a stop spell on them. But BT is choosing to run from them because Axe Knights are so much easier anyway. So Lavkian has got to be very close. 79 and 3, just 5 steps to the east, and we will find the armor on Lavkian's side.
There's the quick return for proximity to the grind spot.
Meanwhile, on BT's side, I believe I saw a double-digit attack power there. It looks like that. Yeah, 93 strength now.
So that's quite a boost. I'm not sure if it's enough. I'll run the numbers really quick, but I don't think it's quite enough. Oh, it is! It is enough. And because the agility gain was huge, too, I think BT will consider going at this level. Holy cow. That was quite a big change.
Yeah, I believe math usually checks it out that you would probably want one more heal more, but given the HP and the agility, I think this would be a good decision to go.
13 attacks required, even if you're being conservative with the numbers, and 11 heal mores, plus extra HP and high agility means BT would be very likely to get at least one double attack, which compensates for a little bit of variance. Overall, BT is the favorite at this level, and with super high agility, there's not much to worry about on the way, so BT judges this as a clear go situation, and he's fighting the first red dragon, and I don't hate this decision, it's just his agility is so high, I probably would have tried running anyway. Just because it's so incredibly high. But he could also be fighting a level down. That could be a decision that he's already made.
Yeah, he could also just be thinking in the back of his head that if he could get just enough to get the next level, that next little attack power could boost him past what would make him happy.
And if that's his plan, he might as well fight the largest experience giver when his HP is at full. So, and he's already back to full, by the way, so he might fight, probably fight the Star Wyvern. Yeah, that's his plan.
So now down on Lavkian's side, we have got the Axe Knight grind. We're going to be seeing this for a while. I want to say at least 3 levels, because we know what the stats are like. So, let's see. Given this, BT has more than double Lavkian's experience right now.
Yeah, but it's not as bad as it looks. They may be 3 levels apart, but Lavkian has shorter levels to gain right now. And, of course, the Axe Knights on this spawn tile, they'll just propel him through these levels really quickly. Only a couple Death Warps needed to replenish those hurt ones.
It's going to be a very fast grind on Lavkian's side as well. Depending how Sherlock is and how the RNG goes, still can't call this race over. Sherlock can be very tricky at times, depending on who's inside and what sort of surprises they've got up their sleeves.
Now, BT attacking this red dragon after being back attacked, he can get it on this 3rd attack as long as it doesn't dodge, and he didn't have a problem there. I do want to note, as Lavkian gets level 13, by the way, BT has been in a few races over the past few nights where Sherlock has been particularly brutal, and that could play a little bit of a part in why he's getting the safety level on the way. Suddenly encountering no enemies at a very timely Lavkian continuing to grind those Axe Knights en route to level 14. And I was going to say the same thing you were going to say.
Why, we both have eyes, and we were looking at that. So, noting here, BT, I think, is around 1,300 away from the next level.
Yes.
Not totally out of reach. Especially given the things that he's choosing to fight.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that he has also chosen to fight Armored Knights in addition. Agility is super high, but again, BT has seen some crazy Sharlock bad luck in the last few nights in some fairly brutal situations. Just playing it safely in a different way.
So Lavkian on the other end, taking a death, will be very quickly replenishing the MP and headed straight back down to grinding time.
Axe Knight a clear fight for BT at near full HP. BT not afraid to three-shot any red dragons, seemingly any starting HP value. I think he got that one in 2 hits with 86 damage. Nice little bonus there. Now, werewolves have sleep, but he can also defense break them, as well as a few other enemies, like, well, wizards, presumably green dragons and axe knights, maybe even star wyverns. Very high agility right now.
So we're about 500 experience away for the next level from BT, and we are still going to have one forced encounter.
Yeah, so his timing's really good here. He's in position to pick up the level just from the boss tile, after picking up 1 or 2 more enemies on the way. Maybe 3. If they're all werewolves. Still bravely fighting those werewolves, because even though they have sleep, he's defense breaking them. They can't do much damage. Their max is somewhere around that 12 that we just saw. And you can already see Lavkian, it looks like 2 Axe Knights away from level 14 already. Just such a fast, efficient grind on these Axe Knights.
So while we're taking our last little snaky walk around Sherlock, let's just take a moment to thank the Tie-Dye Guy for doing the restream of this race, and Archfield Monk for doing the tracking. As well, let's thank Ness Cardinality for doing some commentary. This is where you thank Sparkover.
Thank you, Sparkover, for all your hard work on the comment.
So, Lavkian has reached level 14. Meanwhile, BT was fighting the Stone Man and chooses to run in the middle of the battle and is walking back and forth on the plains tiles in hopes to get his HP back up there.
Yeah, he doesn't want to burn off another heal more, and he doesn't want to lose herbs either. He knows his agility is high, he's defense-breaking Axe Knights and Werewolves. So this is a good time for him to heal. And what he can do, if he doesn't want to lose too much time, is he can finish the level before the Stone Man, and then gauge if he can use some MP on sleep to make it safer.
Yeah, the Sleep and Hermore combo can be very deadly if you really do not want to burn your heal more.
Yeah, he was not safe there. It was legitimately dangerous. And again, I have to remark again, BT showing no fear triple-shotting these red dragons. He does it again, and it was successful. That's good for level 16.
That will be our level, so let's see what we get here. Would you like to read some numbers? Oh.
He gets 10 power.
Well then.
So first of all, he got enough HP to use the Death Necklace. He can do it with or without at this point. And secondly, yeah, with that power boost, he won't be afraid to use a little magic against the Stone Man. Unfortunately, Stop Spell did not work. He's trying it again. And after 2 failed attempts, I don't know, I think I would just try to sleep him. With all this attack power, he really doesn't need Benny Healmores at all anymore. He just has to survive this battle.
So I'm going to peek into the little spoilers here. It looks like Stonemen have 10 out of 16 resistance.
This is so dangerous! He didn't heal more, he attacked. And now he's asleep again, and now he's awake. He tried to run! Oh no!
And the Hurtmore takes BT down.
I can't handle the intensity. It looks like he'll be fine from a race perspective, but of course he doesn't know that. He knows that he grinded an extra level on the way down, and it took him some time. He doesn't know where his opponent's at, so this is a moment of great tenseness for any player who is defeated in Charlock.
Yeah, even if you feel like you played a really good seed, any death in feel terrible. It's just, even though it's in theory not that far a walk from here, it hurts. I believe BT used all or most of his herbs at least, though we do have Gardenham right here, so it's a very quick replenish, and he chooses not to.
I would guess that Lavkian will go at level 15, and if he does, both players will be in Charlock at the same time. We'll have a nice close finish. We'll see what happens. BT's still fighting red dragons, which, interestingly enough, could compel him to just complete that level on the way down, but of course, he really doesn't need it. He's not only strong enough already by a long shot, he's also in a position to use the Death Necklace to make it even more ridiculously lopsided.
And he could also burn some Healmores if he wanted to. He probably doesn't want to be that spammy on them on the way down just because he knows what the Stone Man is like, but there is a little bit extra safety there at this point.
I can't help but remark once again, I can just see it as upon reflection of all the seeds BT's had in the past few nights where Charlock was so rough. Just taking no chances. You can already see he failed to run from a Stone Man, so why not just attack those red dragons when he has full HP?
Yeah, the agility is all just a number sometimes. No matter how great your number is, it's very painful when you cannot run from a Stone Man.
Lavkian now 2 Axe Knights away from level 15. We'll see if he makes the decision to go immediately. And you can already see Stone Man continuing to give BT a world of trouble. I don't think he's lost any MP yet, but it's been scary at times. Any enemy with sleep in Charlock that you can't run away from is scary.
So, Lavkian, at level 15, has 118 agility.
And Lavkian also deciding to continue to hurt more. I don't know, like, unless I made a mistake in the math, but I don't think I did. Like, it's 13 attacks to win, they have 11 heal, extra HP, with super high agility, which makes it look like at least one double attack is extremely likely. I just think this is a clear time to go, but, you know, Charlock is a scary place.
Yeah, and that's also a point, too. I mean, sometimes you might think about going right away, and sometimes you might just think, well, if Charlock doesn't go well, maybe I should break through this and just keep going for another level for extra safety.
Yeah, I am surprised that neither player decided to go at level 15. I would have gone 100%, like, the agility just makes it seem that much more clear. And then the extra HP, again, likely to give you a double attack. But without all that, as long as you make it down there with Healmores, you're favorite to beat the Dragon Lord, so...
But at the end of the day, what do Healmores mean if the Stone Man has sleep and hurt more and won't resist, won't accept your stop spell?
That Stone Man. It's very interesting to note. All that I've said, the Stone Man can tip the tide in the other direction, and both players are going to prepare themselves for such an eventuality here. BT will complete the extra level and will be so ridiculously overpowered at 17.
Extra level.
So yeah, a player like me could easily get burned on that Stone Man alone, even if everything else is super easy. You can't run from that guy, you have to beat him at least once.
So, given BT's MP right now, he does have one extra stop spell. We know that wasn't enough last time, unfortunately, but, you know, the option is there. So lavkian continuing the grind is about 1,000 experience, I guess 1,100 away from the next level. And BT is about 700, I want to say.
Won't take long to get there, given that there are red dragons down. Fighting them all. Two red dragons would put him 2 experience away. No reason to risk fighting a golem now. They pack a bit of a punch and they have more HP than a red dragon.
And we never did get the fairy flute. We probably can assume it's in the treasure chests down there, though there are a couple other spots it may be.
BT with slightly lower HP after that back attack, plus starting with less than full, finally runs from a red dragon and does a little heel walking. This one, of course, he will fight.
Just doing a few shimmies on the plains to, you know, get your HP up.
And unless he finds another werewolf, it'll be one enemy plus the Stone Man for the next level.
So again, shimmy shimmy, and we will see just if he decides to do the Stone Man right away. Or if he wants the level first. We find an Axe Knight.
I thought maybe he might try to screen scroll over to the Dragon Lord. Yeah. And it looks like he'll take the level before the Stone Man for a little bit of extra safety. This Axe Knight will do it, and again, he has lots of extra heal mores already. That'll make him super safe.
So let's see, what do we get for level 17? We get some Courage and Wit. Oh my!
Another 8 power, just huge. So I like the decision to cast Sleep. And an excellent move makes it pretty clear. This fight is going to be lightning fast whether or not he chooses to use the Death Necklace. Death Necklace just makes it faster, but either approach is completely safe.
So were all those steps just a manipulation?
So all of BT's stats are now solid green, super high, and there you see he puts on the Death Necklace, lots of extra power.
So this is just BT's race to lose at this point. I just want to say nothing other than a missed menu will be a loss here. So it's a very swift fight of the Dragon Lord. We are on to DL2.
By the way, BT would feel very, very confident in this battle if he entered it with only 5 heal mores. That'll give you an idea of how fast it'll go.
So 28 damage. That has to be from the Dragon Lord attacking BT, right? We are very strong right now, folks.
31 damage. His max is 32. 2 very large attacks to start. He might just beat it in 6 attacks. But it should take 7 on average. A 3rd attack that was also way above average.
So BT rivaling the Dragon Lord attack power against himself here.
Quite a monumentally strong victory here for the hero. Assuming there are no surprises. And there it is. I think that might have been 6 attacks.
That was an incredibly fast fight there. And with that, BT takes down the Dragon Lord, gets the Ball of Light, casts Return, heads back to the castle, and will be winning this race. Finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 19 seconds.
Congratulations to BT, GG. Lavkian on the way down, and I don't expect any problems for Lavkian on this dive, but you never know. Basically, the only thing to worry about is that Stone Man and a little bit of Red Dragon Arm.
And with a few trumpets, BT is on to find a new land with the princess. And just... Hello there!
GG, BT.
GG. That was... AC, that was a very fast seed.
I think BT is muted right now.
He is definitely muted right now, but I still want to say nice things to him.
Me too.
I'm like, push to talk, muted, it's all sorts of things.
But you're here! Hello! Congratulations!
Hello! Thank you! That was, an interesting battle of luck all game.
Yeah, it definitely was, right from the get-go, actually. You got to Remulder on your very first shot, whereas lavkian spent a little bit, about 5 minutes, I think, to get there.
Wait. Did you see how high of a roll the gold was on that, chest?
731, I believe.
Yeah, it gave me enough to buy 3 keys and still have enough for a hand axe that wasn't sold there.
We were stressing this hand axe in theory very well, and we loved your decision.
I had a plan. I was there, I was ready to plan things, and the plan never came to fruition. I was like, I'll go at 15. I'll go at 16. I'll go a little later. And then when I finally went, he wasn't even there. When I asked the guy at the mall if he'd ever be back, he said he didn't know.
I mean, we both definitely felt like 15 was a good spot to go at, but yeah, then the stone men were like, hi, we would like some glory.
Yeah, and then the turnaround, he sent me back to start, and then I was like, okay, I'll plan every single MP, I'll get there, and I'll just give it my all, and then I had to use all my magic.
Yeah, that stone man was brutal.
Yeah, you'd think with all that agility that, you know, you'd be able to run from them, but when you sleep and hurt more, you're forced to be reckoned with.
This was a NyQuil seed. Everyone wanted to put me to sleep.
Should have had a little more coffee before we started.
Agreed. So Blue Dragon slept me early, and I accidentally hurt more him instead of heal mooring, and it hit. And then he got me back to sleep, and then I woke up, and then I hurt more again and killed him.
That
really
was
funny.
fairly epic, yeah. I noticed there was the possibility for a somewhat unconventional gold grind where you pick up chests and then go through the swamp cave to Garinham's gold. You didn't do that, but not only did you not need the large shield because of agility, but also because you had hurt more, you were just propelling into an experience lead as lavkian got the money for all that equipment. It doesn't always work out that way, but it ended up working really well for you this time.
Yeah, this was the kind of seed that, actually, I would hate to face yourself on, because it's kind of easy. I would need something really complicated with an ability for people to make bad decisions, so I didn't really want to do anything that was too off script, and I just got really stressed out the last 20 minutes, because I was like, someone should be done with this seed, and I just got nervous.
Lavkian approaching the Dragon Lord now at level 16. I would have liked to have seen what happened if one of you went at 15, but both of you didn't even hesitate to stick with those Axe Knights and a little bit of extra experience once you saw the stats at level 15.
Yeah, I was kind of in it harder to make a bad decision once we saw the news come through, but I was having a rough time even grinding the Axe Knight because the Armor Knight kept showing up like on the one square. I was not inbatable with the Axe Knight.
Lavkian started with a little under the amount of HP he wanted, but he got attacked for little, so he did get 2 attacks. He came down there with full heal mores. It looks like he should be fine, and this should be a smooth fight. I wanted to ask you about your decision to not check the bottom 2 chests in Garen's grave. I was a little bit surprised by that.
That's kind of, I don't know, status quo for me. Every time I go for those 2 chests, I'll either get way too many encounters, I will run out of magic and not have outside, there'll be like red dragons in there, and so I'm just not gonna risk it unless I'm absolutely forced to go back into the bottom of the grave. I don't want to. It's so much walking.
Fair enough, and it ended up paying off big time when you found the Stones of Sunlight Cave shortly after with Erdrick's sword, which was really the only question mark left on your menu.
It was, but you might have seen me take a pregnant pause at the flame sword at the bottom shop in Cantland. I was like, well, I just won't die. I'll save my money. I'll buy that flame sword, and then, I won't even go digging for the sword in the grave. But it gave it to me, so I just kept going.
So meanwhile, lavkian has just taken down the Dragon Lord. Will be finishing very sorely. Types .dine. I think it's time for dinner. And then types .done. Finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 26 seconds. And thus,
GG.
tale comes to an end.
The Freudian .dine.
.dine. Yeah, I was trying to take note of all the experience switches just because it seemed like in the beginning with both of you having Hermore, and, Hermore versus Exploration, you two were both shuffling experience leads until about 25 minutes, and that's where BT sort of took the lead there. I believe I heard a dingle, and that's probably one lavkian.
Gotta figure out, you're pushing to talk and whatever.
Yeah, all those.
You can't ambush them with questions.
Hello, lavkian. What do you feel today? I see a green circle, but I'm not hearing you, unfortunately. Let's just say some really nice things about lavkian. Lavkian is really cool.
I like it.
Yes! That was very good.
Well, Lavkian did the unconventional gold grab of it and went for Inham and got. It was unfortunate.
Normal.
There we go.
Hooray!
Okay. Yeah, I did do the gold grind. Did BTs not do a gold grind?
No.
I see. BT's, quick question. Did you spend the money that you got at the beginning of the game?
Oh, you better believe it. All 700X of it.
I see. Yeah, I had a real struggle. It took me about 4 minutes just to make those 20 steps or whatever over to Rimmildar, so...
Yeah. It went like this. Check my stats, 5 attack power. Nope! Let's see if I can make it to a town, immediately get hit by a Magidrakey, run away, make it to Rimmildar. Best opening ever.
Yeah. And, yeah, with that gold, what all did you buy with that gold? Because I think the only thing that was really available was a club and chainmail, if I'm not mistaken.
3 keys, chainmail, and a club.
Oh, right.
And, I think I lost half of the remaining gold. Checked out Tantagel, and then bought 1 key, and then that was it.
Cool. Sparkover, you were mentioning that the experience lead was kind of going back and forth, and then BTs took a pretty big lead.
Yeah, I mean, BT did get the initial lead getting to the town right away, though you caught up a little bit, and then 15 minutes in, you actually did take the lead. 20 minutes BT took it back, 23 minutes you did, 25 BT took it, and from that point on, he held it for the rest of the seed.
That was the time that you were gold grinding. He was in the middle of exploring at that point. He got a few extra demon knights and such.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, I definitely cannot blame you at all for doing that gold grind. I mean, it's very rare that it turns out to be not as necessary as it turned out to be tonight, but unfortunately, in the case of tonight, it was a pretty big time sink for when BT was able to just go zoom.
BT, what level did you finish at?
17, and maybe like 4% into that one.
Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy. I after finally putting everything together, wow, 17. What was your HP at 17? It must have been above Death Necklace level.
Yeah, it was. I think I got 5 HP on the last level. I didn't check. I was so stressed out. I thought you were gonna snap me up because I died so many times in Sharlock. That I got my level up. I killed the stone man with a crit. I slept him and got a crit. I just ran right to the Dragon Lord, ran from an Axe Knight, or an Armor Knight. No, an Axe Knight. And then put on the Death Necklace instead of healing. And I must have had like 165-ish attack. I don't know. I was hitting him for 24.
Yeah.
163.
Wow, 163. Yeah, because I saw level 15 for me. I'm kind of surprised because level 16 seemed pretty free. But yeah, I don't know. I what with the gold grind and stuff, having slightly higher defense power, I had absolutely no problems at level 16. But yeah, because I had like 145 attack power, I think.
Oh, so... were you full stacked with Magic Shield?
Silver Shield, yeah.
Silver Shield, yeah. So, even without... I had a large shield. Even without the Silver Shield, I think he was hitting me for 47 and under. So it was really, really nice. I got one double.
I got a lead off. Yeah, I got a lead off double starting the DLC fight with like 86 HP or something like that. Because most of the time when he was physically in use, hitting me for under 30, it's a pretty nice tame Dragon Lord 2 fight. And I thought Spark over a Nest card. I'm not sure how things looked from your end, but I thought that 15 might be doable, but I didn't think that it was. I felt like it was really, really close.
I really felt like one of you was going to try it, and neither of you actually hesitated to continue grinding, so I was a little surprised. I think I would have chosen to go, and then if I were playing, I would have had a big sweat on that stone man at the end, because I gave BT a lot of trouble, and even with high agility, anything can happen when a monster is asleep and you have to defeat it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then there were blue dragons like all around Charlock. I mean, after I saw the .done come in, the first thing that happened after I saw BT's .done was blue dragon put me to sleep, and I was like, oh, is this how the race is gonna end right here? But fortunately, I was able to get down there and finish it up.
So yeah, anyone who
really solid Charlock to get done that quickly.
Sorry, what's that?
Oh, I was just
Charlock
say,
must have been solid.
Yeah, I think I got slept by one, maybe two blue dragons. I actually failed to sleep against the Stone Man, but fortunately he played nice, and I was able to put him to sleep and take him out in 3 hits. And yeah, everything else was pretty smooth. But then I didn't actually check what agility I had at the end. I know level 15 I had like 99 or something like that, so it must have been well over 100. But yeah, GG, man.
Hey, GG. That was a lot of fun, actually. And yeah, thank you so much for enjoying that wonderful seed with me.
Absolutely. It's not often, I will say, I don't remember where it was. I want to say it was in the mountain cave. Because once I went through and started exploring stuff, I still was holding on to this club until I ended up doing a gold grind and picking up the broadsword, magic shield, or magic armor and silver shield. And at one point I killed, because the strength was coming in so fast in those early levels on top of the Hurtmore spell, and at one point I killed Shadow Knight with the club, and once I did that, I was like, that's something you don't see every day.
Oh yeah, I imagine. I did a ghetto grind in Garen Ham for a broadsword, and I was just hold on to that.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
I love that thing.
Yeah, broadsword's great, man. It's so funny, like when you look at developers and how they balance early games. It's like the broadsword compared to the flame sword, like the amount of attack power you get for the value is just, it doesn't compare at all. I think I'd actually be curious to do the math on like what the most efficient purchase is, and I think I have to imagine it'd be a toss-up between the broadsword and the hand axe. They're both really, really efficient.
Why not both? Looks like according to the stats on the restream, you had 118 agility and I had 110.
118, oh my goodness. And you had wow, yeah, because okay, so there must have been another pretty big agility boost at 17. I didn't even pay attention to I once I saw 15, I was like, man, it's so close, but these Axe Knights are right here. And I knew, because I was defensive breaking Axe Knights from like level 14, which did cost me a little bit of time because I couldn't suicide out of the Swamp Cave at that point. Not reliably anyway, like Armored Knights could have killed me, but because I took a Death Warp after I ran out of MP the first time. And then once I got to, I think, 14, I was defense breaking the Axe Knights, so I couldn't just Death Warp on them. So I had to walk out and then go down and then talk to the old man in Tantagel and then walk all the way back around to the cave, which I knew wasn't super efficient, but it seemed like the best thing I could do at the time.
Oh no, I did several of those laps for sure. I slept at every inn a couple times for good measure. It was great.
Yeah, and then once I saw 15, I was like, man, this is really close, but I'd really just like 5 more attack power to seal it. And once I saw 10 on level 15, I was like, oh, that's it. That's go mode.
Yeah.
What Nest Carter spoke over? Curious, what was the difference between our first Charlock entrances?
What do you mean?
Like when did BT's first enter Charlock compared to me?
Oh shoot. I think when BT first entered, you were a little more than 2 levels behind. And then I wasn't sure if you were going to go at 15 or not. I think if you had gone at 15, you would have entered Charlock before he finished.
It must have been about 65 minutes in. I'm looking at my splits. I hit level 15 at an hour and 1 minute, and then hit level 16 at an hour 8.5 minutes. So I was descending.
Oh wow, you would have had like a solid. I don't have my splits up anymore, but I think I didn't hit level 16 until about an hour 15. So yeah, so you must have. So did you only take the 1 death in Charlock, or was it multiple attempts?
Multiple. I think I was on my 3rd attempt. That's why I was getting so stressed out, because that was so arduous.
Oh man, yeah, no kidding. Wow, that's some. This sounds like I had a little bit of bad luck in the beginning, and you had some bad luck at the end. But your routing kind of and the lack of the gold grind kind of.
Yep.
It out.
The luck was comical. I was doing things you should not be doing. Except I had a bunch of bad luck in the beginning too. I was like, oh, I have hurt more, and I found this peninsula with green dragons on it, and they kept like ambush killing me, and you have to take that mandatory damage to leave to Tangel. So I was just like, no, let me hurt more of them. So
man, I was wondering if you were gonna do that, because I saw those green dragons too. But once I got hurt more, and then because I basically picked up the club and the chainmail, and I was just whopping on the enemies in the desert, kind of north in that zone 1 or whatever, north of Tantagel, which it kind of sucks there were no wolves there. It would have made it a little bit more optimal. The best thing there was a warlock, but I basically whopped on those guys until I think it was, I can't remember if it was 5 or 6 when we got hurt more, but once I got that, I ran myself out of MP and then went and checked the back of Tantagel, and then once I saw wyverns and magi-wyverns in there. And so I was just hurt-mooring those things down, and then I checked the spike tile, and it was an Axe Knight, and I was like, okay, I'll kill a couple of these, and then I'll finally start. And then it was like right around that point, I think I hit level 7, and that's when our HP and MP were actually like decent enough to start moving around on the map.
Yeah, that level 15, I had 85, I think. I was like, okay, well I got an additional hurt more, or heal more. And the math just didn't check out. So I knew I needed level 16, but I wanted to try it at 15.
Yeah, my math, based on what I had 109 hit points. So if I had a little bit more, I might have gone, and maybe it would have been a better choice anyway, just because having the agility build and the silver shield, like my defense was already pretty high, and I might have still been able to eke in 1 double attack there, but I think I would have needed it, because my math at that point was like 12.5 average damage, and then 13 attacks, assuming no doubles, and I keep all my MP. So I know that's really, really close. I just wasn't quite comfortable going at that point. I wanted just a little bit more attack power. But yeah, man, I think that's... Yeah, thanks to Tydyke, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Sparkover and Nestcard, for providing commentary. Looks like Archfield Monk was doing the tracking. Really appreciate it. And congratulations, BTs. And I'm looking forward to your match against JJ Schmidt, man. Hopefully I'll get a chance to call it. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much. And that is a very, very scary matchup. But I'm doing my best to appear scary too. So,
Are you, just out of curiosity, are you drawing maps?
No. I'm pretty good at memory, but I can only do one seed per night. Because my brain will get scrambled. So I just have a really simple tracker. I just keep track of my attack power, and then the coordinates, and the enemies that have Dragon Lord 2 Breath. And that's about it. Everything else is all mental.
Oh, okay. One thing also that I'm assuming, and I guess Sparkover and Nescard can kind of fill me in on this, I'm assuming BTs, I'm assuming you grabbed the princess and then just beelined for the armor. I unfortunately made a pretty big mental mistake that I don't think it decided the race. I think there were lots of other things like the gold grind that decided the race, but I made several mental mistakes when trying to process the coordinates in reverse to get to the armor. And that took me like about 2 extra minutes. I'm assuming that was pretty easy for you.
I grabbed the princess and I was like, oh, sweet, Axe Knights. And then I gobbled up as many as I could, did the long heal, and I was like, well, I guess it's up over here. And then I was able to get it with only 2 GPSs.
Yeah, I ended up using like 4 or 5, because I walked like, I was east and then I got confused and I started walking like further west, and then I thought it was like 70 north and it was 79, and yeah, it wasn't, with the GPS it was still a little bit of a wander away from Garenham, but I made it a little bit more complicated than it needed to be for sure, so a little bit of a mental mistake there on my part, unfortunately. But it sounds like regardless it was still a pretty close race and fun to watch, so I'm just glad I could put on a good show for the viewers.
Absolutely. That was a run of very few mistakes, but there's always a couple, right?
Always a couple, yeah. And it's still, and I like seeds where it's like you got to make decisions at the beginning, because once I saw that 5 strength, even though I kept getting ambushed by scorpions, I was like, no. And then I think it was like 3 minutes of just die reset before I saw the town. Then when I saw the town, I was like, all right, I don't care if it takes 10 minutes. Like, it's gonna be better to get whatever weapon is in this town, assuming it's not Hawksness. Then, it's gonna be easier to do that. And it's kind of cool when you can just buy, like, a club, and, like, you just have to scrabble together, like, whatever you can to make it through the first few levels. I like starts like that.
Yeah, I don't like being faced with too many decisions, because then I kind of get like FOMO, like, oh, maybe there was a town over there if I didn't lose all my gold. But this seed is really just like, oh, go to the 3 places you can go to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and even at the beginning there was only the one, unless you were willing to use that herb to try to make it to Brecconary, but I don't think we could even do that with the HP that we started with, so.
No, that was terrible. I was able to get some Dracky fights early on, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, that helps out for sure.
And then, yeah, it was just a mess of an opening, and we got through it. Well,
absolutely.
Thank you so much, and if there's anyone in particular you want me to extract vengeance on and the rest of the bracket, just let me know, man.
JJ, man, he knocked me out last year, so that's it. I mean, I'll take a look at the bracket later and fill you in on any other vengeance that I may have, but no, just take out JJ. We'll be good.
All right, I already took care of that last year, so we're good.
All right, Niscard spoke over. Unless BTs, unless you have anything else to say, I think I'll let them wrap it up. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks for the great show.
You're welcome. Thanks, Sparko. Thanks, Niscard.
GG to both of you.
Hey, GG.
All right, so it looks like that about ties it up, I believe, for the first round of the bracket stage. So
the final 16 are officially set.
Yeah, that'll be starting up, I assume, next week. So other than that, we're going to be throwing us over to Randomania 2. We are doing the Legend of Zelda Randomizer Summerfall 2018 tournament. This will be a match between Zarnax42, one of our Dragon Warrior Randomizer, playing against Sis Crusher. Other than that, anything else to say in this cardinality?
Will the Dragon Lord ever play football again? Find out next week in the next round of Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.
Good night.